Welcome to Blue Collar Love, the Starflyer 59 retrospective Jason Martin extravaganza. My name is Samuel.
And I'm Aaron.
And I honestly have no idea if anyone's watching because this is the first time I've ever done this and I don't know how to check crap. So if anyone's watching, hi. Welcome, guys. This is the first time we've ever done this.
And
I'm super pumped.
Sam, I don't see you're gone away. I just see a screen with a still of your face, so I really can't see what's going on. So it's going to be amazing.
Oh, so this might not be streaming at all. We don't know.
Well, let's see. Let me go to YouTube and see if it still is. No, now we're not live.
Oh, now we're not?
Wait, let me hit play. Are we live? Say something, Sam.
Hello. Test.
Yeah. Okay, so you can see us on there? You can see us on there? Yeah. Well, hey guys. For anyone watching. Welcome. Give me a second. Okay.
Wow. I don't know, Sam. It's like delayed from what we're saying before, so I don't know if it's like a 2-minute delay or.
Welcome to Blue Collar Love, the Starflyer 59 retrospective Jason Martin.
Dude, something weird. That was weird. That was
yeah. So I don't know if we're streaming or not, man.
We're gonna pretend we are, and if it's just super trippy, someone can personally text Aaron. Aaron, you have like 20 Facebook friends. They can just chat you or text you, right?
Please do if somebody does.
If something is just weird or it's just not working, just let us know, guys.
Yeah.
All right, I have been looking forward to this all week. So as promised earlier on Facebook, this is us ranking all of Jason Martin's projects. So we decided there are way too many projects to try and do in one video. Just way too many. So what we're doing instead is we are first ranking all the side projects. So that's tonight. And then in a couple weeks, few weeks, whatever happens, we're going to rank all the EPs. And then finally, sometime probably around Christmas or New Year's, special gift to everyone for the end of the year, we're going to rank all of the main Starflyer albums. So for those that have stuck with us this long, listening to us, thank you. We're super excited.
We're super pumped.
All right, Aaron, any questions, comments, concerns before we get started here?
I'm just really interested to see how this live stream turns out.
Like I said, hey, guys, if this is funky and you can't hear us properly, please, text Aaron. Let us know so we can just cut it. We'll just cut it from... I'll go back and check it later. If it's really wonky, I'll just delete it. And we'll be like, well, it was a failed experiment, you know?
Hey, anything creative, you just experiment and see what happens. Sometimes magic happens. Sometimes low time happens. I'm just playing.
Well, I text Aaron when I had this idea. I text Aaron and I said, "This is the most ridiculous idea I've probably ever had for this show." And Aaron, what's that great quote you sent me back? Because I had to write it down. I liked it so much.
Well, Bono, everybody's favorite frontman from U2, said in a song, "I'll Go Crazy If I Don't Go Crazy Tonight." How was it? I forgot now. You just went blank. What is it, Sam? I just went blank.
It's the right to be ridiculous.
Yes, the right to be ridiculous is something I hold dear.
Yes. So we're being ridiculous, guys. We're
yes.
For those that have ever wondered if we're like real people in flesh and blood, here we are. We're alive. We are real people, not AI.
You don't know.
Maybe some weird AI.
Could be.
You know, created by who was the one guy that we thought maybe a robot that one time?
Oh, the Perez guy.
Yeah, Perez.
I don't know. Mike Perez.
Perez.
He created us. It was all him from the start.
And Mike Perez may or may not just be the creation of Ronnie. You know, we all know he's a mad scientist. So.
Well, he created Ronnie. Anyway, all right, we got this.
All right, you ready to go?
Always and forever.
All right, we're going to start. We got 16 albums on this list.
Yes.
We're going to start at number 16 and just work our way up and see where we land on number 1.
You go. You start.
Oh, you want me to go first?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. You got to start at number 16. You got to start somewhere. You have to learn to crawl before you can walk, right?
Yes.
Songs and Stories by Dance House Children. So if it's higher on your list, we can talk more about it when we get up to your list, or I can talk about it now. It's up to you.
You go ahead. You go ahead.
So this album is nuts. It is the sound of two guys just trying every idea, throwing them all at the wall, and just seeing what may or may not happen. And it's fun for its wild experimentation. Like, I give them credit for just trying, especially if you listen to the Morelos Forest Project, which they dropped this past year.
Yes.
Which was the precursor to this. That is so tame compared to what they did with Dance House Children. So I applaud them for just like going bonkers, going out. That does not necessarily make it a good album, though, for me personally. So my number 16 is Songs and Stories by Dance House Children. What do you got, Aaron?
I just realized we didn't include Morelos Forest on this list.
Well, we did because we haven't reviewed that. I'm thinking if we ever do a Ronnie podcast or something, we'll just start with that, you know.
Okay. All right. Well, you want me to do my 16 or where I put Songs and Stories?
Start with 16 and then you can talk more about Songs and Stories when we get up there. Sound good?
Yeah. My number 16 is Jesus by Dance House Children. So you want to talk about Jesus or Songs and Stories?
So tell me about Jesus. Why is this at the bottom of your list compared to...
Okay. I'm with you about the bonkers. And it's amazing how they went from Morelos Forest to this, because Morelos Forest was so much more like fleshed out and more like art, had an artistic vision. To me, yeah, it just sounds like two teenagers who were going to turn out to be amazing artists. You know, it's just their first, you know, they're trying new things. Well, this is the second album, I get it. But they're trying out things. And, you know, like every artist, Prince, you know, lots of people, your first offering isn't always your best, because you're learning the ropes, you're learning how studios work, you're learning, you know, your craft and your own artistic vision. My favorite song on this album, though, is Homespun is Happy. There's a couple gems on this. I really like that. It has we mentioned U2 earlier, so I mean, that song has a kind of a EDM, U2 Octane Baby, Depeche Mode feel to it. But yeah, that's number 16 for me.
I didn't even think through my favorite song from each album. I will do my best to name them as I remember them, but some of them I may not remember what the best songs were. Just
okay.
Apologies in advance. I didn't think about that. So I'm kind of curious, and you can talk about it more when you get to it, but why do you think... Actually, just talk about it more when you get to the song and story on your list. So tell me, what's your number 15?
Songs and Stories.
Okay, why is Songs and Stories above Jesus? Because I think Jesus is the more superior album, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Okay. I don't know. I just feel like, although I just think that the music is so much more weirder on Jesus. I mean, I'm sorry. Wait, hold on. Weirder on, because the songs are like, and I like weird stuff, but it doesn't always work. But I think that the music on Songs of Story has more of a coherent, like, artistic vision. It didn't sound as chaotic, that it came in just slightly above Jesus. That's pretty much why I ranked it higher.
Fair enough. What's your favorite song off of Songs and Stories?
Songs and Stories, let's see. It is Held by Your Wishes. Remember that one? You probably don't.
I don't. Man, I'll be honest, I listened to both these albums in preparation for this, and I remember the bonkers. Like, these albums feel like I was in an acid trip while I just vaguely remember them.
I mean, yeah, I mean, and I'm looking at my notes from right now from Songs and Stars, and Acid Trip is there a lot. I agree with you, you know, but I mean, I mean, the Held by Your Wishes, why it's my favorite. It's like the breathy, Ronnie vocals, like that he later appeared on Joy Electric. The of the album on that album, you can hear, oh, this is where this is going. And so, I mean, among the acid trippiness of the music, you can hear the greatness amidst the chaos. Amidst the chaos.
Very nice. All right, so my number 15 is not the other Dance House Children album, actually.
Uh-oh.
My number 15, don't shoot me, guys.
Oh
I'm sorry. Uppers by Lo and Behold. And here's why. All due respect to Ryan Clark, Jason, they are supremely talented people. I forgot to even put this album on the list initially. That's how forgettable it is to me. Like, they're both fine artists. This isn't a bad album. I went and listened to it once again. I listened to all these albums in preparation for this. It is not a bad album by any means. But it's just, compared to everything else on this list, it's so forgettable to me. And this is just a me thing. So that's why Lo and Behold is just so low for me. But you can talk it up when you get up to wherever it is on your list. Fair enough?
Sure. So number 14 for me, Uppers and Down. No, I'm just playing now.
We'll just circle the
This is going to be your first. Bless your heart, Sam. Bless your heart for that. Number 14, LP1 by Lo Tom.
Fair. I get where you're going with that. Tell me why.
Favorite track on this though is Lower Down. It's just, for me, like when we reviewed it, like it sound like, okay, when it was released, Jason, TW Watch, Dave Bazan, Trey Manning, just amazing musicians. So you expect Mount Everest and you get a molehill. I feel like, and it's just like this album is like them trying to figure out. I mean, again, it's just like the Dance House Children, or most people's. It's very rare, like very few people are like REM or Wu-Tang Clan, and their first album they knock it out the park. It takes time, to get to know each other and meld visions and stuff like that. And I just feel like this album, and I poo-poo Lo Tom for so much, but after listening to these two, I hope there's a third one, because and the reason why I like Lower Down on this album, not only because it's the longest song on the album, but it sounds like they're getting it, found their clean. Oh, this is what we want to sound like as a band. And the next album, they flesh it out and make it even more. And so I'm really curious. The third album, like it's probably going to be amazing.
Yeah, I agree. Like I'll talk more about Lo Tom as we go on, but I hope they make it a bare minimum a trilogy. I'm excited to see what they could do as a band.
Yeah.
But my number 14 is Jesus by Dance House Children. So we're just like kind of circling the same couple albums here at the bottom.
Yeah.
I feel like Jesus, though, is a much more coherent album than Songs and Stories.
Okay.
To me, I was listening to it, and the song structures sounded more like songs, whereas Songs and Stories sounded more like just experimental mess. I'm not saying it was great, but once again, gotta crawl before you can walk. Plus, the Jesus album gave us such gems as Happy Groundhog Day.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Happy Easter. There was 3 of them, I think. There's 3 different holidays mentioned in there.
I forgot about that. You're right. That was a hoot.
All right, we're moving up this list quick, man. Let's get to some more of our favorite.
When we get more to the primo stuff, it'll be longer.
All right, so my number 13, we're just gonna take this full circle. LP1 by Lo Tom.
Oh,
that's my number 13. It's a fine first album, but I feel like they just were really struggling to figure out what they wanted to do as a band, so everything came off as a bit bland. Which all I say, I still ranked it higher than you did, so
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. It was a good, fine first effort. But pretty much everything you said about it, the expectations were kind of up here. The delivery was a bit lower, but not a bad album by any means.
All right, 13 for me. Enemy Ships by The Emergency. Favorite track? Oblivion. This was hard because I do like this album, but you have to rank them, and it's such a mainstream pop album that should have made it big. And it's kind of like one of those albums, like, I don't know, you think of, like, there's just certain, like, albums or artists where the music, it's not like groundbreaking, but when you listen to it, like, you enjoy it all the time. Like Oasis. Okay, Oasis is good. They're not like anything like spectacular, like forward thinking and everything. But when you listen to them, you're like, oh man, I could, like, it's always good. Like, it's good. And I feel like The Emergency was that. And I wish there was more of it. But yeah, it's musically it's not evolved, but it's like comfort. Like, it's a solid album that's a pop gem. That's why it's low. I do like it though.
I rank them elsewhere on the list, but I'll talk about them now for the sake of continuity.
Yeah.
I called them Enemy Ship, and the album was Emergency. The reason why is because it has the title track as the first track on there. They call it the title track, and the track says, this is an emergency. So I just kind of assumed that the band's name was the Enemy Ship.
I might be wrong too. I don't know. I'm not infallible.
So for that project, I said, isn't that when Jason and his friends decided to do a Strokes album?
That's another band like that. Yeah. Well, it's not terrible. It's great. I mean, you don't necessarily always want it, but if they're in town and they're touring, you're gonna go see the show.
Yeah, I feel like this was their attempt. The Emergency was Jason and Company's attempt to cash in, and I don't mean this cynically, but they were trying to kind of hop on that garage band revival that was happening in the early 2000s. The Strokes, White Stripes, Black Keys, and I think the Enemy Ship would have been another group that just would have hopped right on that wagon if Atlantic Records would have actually picked them up.
Yeah.
But alas, then we would have gotten the other 20 Starflyer albums we got between now and then. So
yeah, it could have been a curse. That could have been a thing, and like maybe we never get another Starflyer album after that.
So it is what it is, right?
Yeah. Where'd you rank that though? Did you say what number you ranked?
I ranked it number 10.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. That was number 10 for me.
Okay.
All right. So tell me about your number 12.
Fraud by Pony Express. Even though we reviewed this, because Jason doesn't even play on this one, but I guess we're still going to talk about it. My favorite song is Fraud, it's the title track. Let me pull up my notes here. They do a cover of Pedro the Lion song, Options, which is really good. It's a very lo-fi, DIY sounding album. It's good. Ranking stuff, things have to be ranked. I like this, but there's not a lot of songs, and it's not too not too forward thinking, or it's it's standard, lo-fi DIY rock. I enjoy it. I don't grab this one a lot, and I think since we're doing this, I think I'm probably going to listen to it more in the next few days, because I don't usually reach for it. But yeah, it's a very, very solid album, even for an EP. It's 5 songs, and they're all bangers. What do you think?
So I actually put Fraud at number 11.
Look at this advertisement. Guys, this is awesome. That
we're like lining up, except for uppers. We didn't.
Yes, besides Lo and Behold, we're pretty much on the same accord.
Yeah, it's technically the only EP here without Jason on it, but I enjoy the Pony Express project so much.
I do too.
Like, it's such a fun project. Huh?
We need another Pony Express album. Come on out.
I mean, now's the time, Jeff Cloud. Just get, like, really, much the same way Starflyer is Jason's passion project. Pony Express, I feel like, is Jeff Cloud's passion project. And he already has 100 different artists on Velvet Blue. Send them a whole bunch of tracks back. Hey guys, record some stuff on these.
Exactly.
Make it a big Walla Gazoo album,
Exactly.
Jeff, buddy, if you're listening out there.
With Jones and We Need Our Fix. But go ahead, Sam. Right, go ahead.
All right. My number 12, though, is another Pony Express album, The Eastwood Dive.
Oh my gosh, another bless your heart moment. What?
So, I think The Eastwood Dive, it's a good first album. I like the lo-fi aesthetic a lot. But so this was actually the album I was listening to the other day, and my wife goes, "Is that slow motion Beach Boys?"
I love it. It is the perfect description. Perfect. You better treat that woman right, man.
On that one, my favorite track, those easily together were Electric. It's such a great track.
It is.
It's the Eastwood Dive is really a great extension of. So, if you look at Starflyer chronology, you have Americana, and then you have Bon Voyage's debut, and then you have Fashion Focus. If there was something between Americana and Bon Voyage, it would be Eastwood Dive.
Yes.
As far as what the soundscape. It would, yeah. So Eastwood Dive, it's a great first album, but I feel like it doesn't. We was complaining about Dance House Children being too crazy. Eastwood Dive's not crazy enough. It's too subdued, and that's why it's so low for me.
Okay, I'm gonna talk about it more later when it comes up on my list.
Okay, fair enough. So moving up to number 11, I already said Fraud by Pony Express. So what's your number 11?
LP2 by Lil Tom. Favorite track?
So low, Aaron. So low.
What do you mean?
We'll get there. So low.
Oh my gosh, Sam! Oh my gosh, I thought we were here, man. I thought we were here. Okay. Yeah. Like I said earlier, like LP1 felt like they were trying to figure it out. I think LP2 is when they figured it out. And all the songs are really great. It sounds like again, those amazing musicians finally found their artistic vision and they cranked it out. I like this album a lot. It's just like everything else is coming forth. Like everything else is, I feel like, the Dance House Children songs, the first, Low Time, and the Emergency Ship, or the Emergency, I can't. Now you got me because I don't know what the band is. It feels like those were like more the chaff, not chaff, the lower end of the side projects. And I feel like from this point on, LP2 down are like the solid albums. These are the ones that I listen to regularly. Like I reach for them a lot, and they're like in my rotation. They're up in my brain. Like I have more connections with them. And although LP2 is new for me because I haven't really listened to it before. We reviewed it earlier this year, and so since then I've listened to it more, and so since it's newer to me, I think that's why it's lower, because I have so much history with what's about to come up. But yeah, it's a solid album, and if we did this again, maybe in 3, 4, 5 years, it might be higher.
Fair enough. Now it's interesting you say 10 and up is kind of your highlights, because I feel like for me 9 and up is where I'm like, okay, these are the good ones.
Yeah, so, I do.
So I've already talked about Fraud. In number 10, I've already talked about the Emergency by Enemy Ship. So I don't have much to say there. So what's your number 10?
Haunted Horse by Neon Horse.
Boo!
I know. So that's probably like number 3 or 2, maybe 1 for you. I get it. My favorite track is Chain Gang Bang Bang. It's
Now that I'll agree with you. Ching gang bang bang, dude. Such a good song.
look, and like you were saying about okay, so Dance House Children was bananas, ridiculous. The whole Neon Horse project was bananas and ridiculous in all the good ways. It was just over the top, ridiculous. Song titles are crazy. Mark Solomon's vocals are crazy. Like we don't even know there's Norman Horse. Like it's just bat shit. I'm sorry, bat crazy awesomeness, and it just works on so many levels. It's fun. I love it. Yeah. I mean, it's a great Halloween album. I mean, we just came through Halloween. I listened to this the week of Halloween. I listened to this album a lot. Yeah, it's just good. It's just good fun. Like we are talking, like when I was talking about Emergency, like where just like a middle of the road, like like Strokes or Oasis, where it's fun, whatever. Neon Horse is a party. It's like, and it was like there's not a lot of depth to it, but it feels good, and it's always you're like always down for it. Yeah. So that's my number 10. What you got, Sam?
I'm gonna disagree with some of those on there, but we'll get to it when I get to it higher on my list.
Okay.
I'm a neon horse apologetic. So.
I know. No, they're good. They're good. You have to apologize. It's a great band. It's just unfortunate there's other bands that Jason has been in that are
better. Speaking of Halloween, though, I actually wrote a blog post and totally posted the Haunted Horse album on my blog post on Halloween. I don't even celebrate Halloween, and it's such a perfect Halloween album.
It is.
All right, I already said 10 was The Enemy Ship for me, so we're gonna go to number 9 for me. All right, we're moving into new territory. Now, as far as I'm concerned, this is the good stuff. 9. All right. This is where it gets good.
All right.
Number 9, Becoming What You Hate by Pony Express.
Jesus Christ. Go ahead.
All right. It's higher for you? I'm kind of surprised.
Oh my.
So this album is where I was like, oh, this is what Pony Express is going for. And I love it. This is just where they went bananas, especially GPA and Behind Closed Doors. Mm-hmm. There's this, I think it's Behind Closed Doors, where the song starts off almost exactly like an Eastwood Dive track.
Yeah.
And in the middle of it, it just stops, and they just start speeding it up and just going. Everyone is like starts playing bananas for the last 30 seconds of the track.
Yeah.
It is glorious, and I love it so much. And then you have like the closing track of what is it, Sister
Hazel.
Sister Hazel. Dude.
Yeah.
Like, see, all the things you said about Haunted Horse, I would say about Becoming What You Hate.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have a lot of depth, but it's just a fun time. And I'm just enjoying so much listening to all these, this all-star band just have the time of their lives recording these tracks. So that's why my number 9 is Becoming What You Hate by Pony Express. And not to say there's not serious moments in it. Like, there's still, I think there's one track on there I'm remembering called Between the Lines, I think. That was a bit more self-reflective. And I like that one a lot. But it's just, the rest of it is so bonkers, so much fun. I love this album. It's not my number 1, Pony Express, but it's, like I said, this is all the good stuff. You're on it. What's your number 9, Aaron?
All right, number 9 for me. I'm going to talk more about Becoming What You Hate later because it's, surprise, way higher than what you rated it. Number 9 for me is the first Neon Horse album.
Ooh, okay. I'll talk more about it later. You go ahead.
Number 1 track, Crazy Daisy. I don't know, man. Like when I didn't really listen to the Neon Horse project until we started doing this podcast, because I'm not sure if I knew that this was a Jason Moore project or not, and just didn't get it for whatever reason, or doing this podcast I realized and I had to get it. I can't remember. I think I probably talked about that when we covered them, but I'm old. I don't remember. I'm sorry. But yeah, more of the Haunted Horse this one's higher for me because it's very impressive because we talked about Dance House Children, we talked about Low Time, enemy ships. Like when you have musicians together the first time trying to figure things out, and how sometimes you don't always hit it, strike gold the first time. They did with the first one, and that's amazing. That's pretty incredible. Like Mark Solomon and Jason Martin. I don't know. It seems like Mark Solomon has a stronger personality than Jason's, and there's other people involved, and so I don't know like the dynamics in that. But to be able to like the first time you like do a major project like this together, and to be able to knock it out the park, that's pretty phenomenal. I mean, there's like no bad song on this album. It's a perfect album. But unfortunately, since we're ranking them, there's other albums by different bands that are just better. Not because this is bad. It's just Jason surrounds himself with amazing people, and they happen to make amazing art consistently.
Fair enough, I suppose. I mean, I feel like Mark Solomon is definitely the louder voice because he's the one doing all the singing and lyrics. But I feel like we kind of get to see a different side of Jason's personality on those Neon Horse albums. I feel like the Neon Horse albums is his Pony Express project, where he just gets to go a little bit more bonkers musically. Yes. And he we'll talk about it eventually, I'm sure. But that Dial M track where he says, "I wish I could be like Johnny Marr, just play the guitar." Neon Horse is just him doing that, right? He just gets his wish.
Yes, exactly.
But I'll talk more about Neon Horse later. Tell me about your number 8, buddy.
I know you will talk about Neon Horse later. We're gonna reserve an hour for that.
I don't know if I'll go that nuts.
Yeah. Okay. Number 8, The Eastwood Dive by Pony Express. Favorite track before September. And you said, what did you say again, Sam? You said that they were too subdued. What'd you say?
It was a bit subdued for my taste. Like, it was good. Don't get me wrong. It's a good album, but it's a bit more subdued than what I feel like they would go on and do later, even just compared to what was happening in the Starflyer universe during those years. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Well, this might be. I'm thinking this might be my first Velvet Blue music purchase, because at that time, so Starflyer obviously was out. Bon Voyage had just released their first album, and I think a year or two after that, this first Pony Express came out. I got it because of Jason Martin. This might be my first Velvet Blue music purchase, and I don't know when I bought it. I think I might have gotten the fall or winter or whatever. But to me, this is a quintessential fall-winter album. And every year around this time, I listen to it for preparing for this, but I'm going to listen to it probably again. There's since, when it came out, like 96, 97, 98, whenever this, I think it was around that.
It was like around 90. It was the same time as it was like Bon Voyage, this, and the Fashion Focus were all boom, 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 back to back.
Yeah. Like 97, 98, and since then, every fall winter I've listened to this album. And so, like I said earlier, like the Low Time LP2 is new for me. Like, this is one of these albums that I have like listened to since 98, on repeat. And so this just feels like fall/winter to me. And yes, it's subdued, but it fits the weather, to me, like albums, every album I ever listened to falls into one of the seasons for me. It just, when I listen, that's a spring, that's a summer, that's a fall album, and it's just this such quintessential fall winter music, and happens to be my favorite time of the year, and the subduedness of it just fits it so perfectly, and so I love it. And, of course, not everybody wants to hear subdued music, and I don't want to hear it all the time. But this is a very contemplative, very thoughtful, introspective, slow motion Beach Boys sad album, and I love it.
So this album I'm going to give is a very fall album. I'll agree with that. Don't hate me, because I'm sure this is much higher for you. Number 8 for me is The Right Amount by Bon Voyage.
I've said this before, but I've never met this before more than your company and your view on your company. Bless your heart of that. That is crazy. You're outside of your mind right now, Sam. You are outside. Oh my God, I'm gonna have to leave the room. I don't want to hear what you're about to say. You're about to be blasphemous, churlish, and insolent with what you're about to say out your mouth. I don't want to hear.
Okay, remember what I said. Number 9 and up are all amazing albums to me, right? So I don't have bad things to say about any of these.
Okay.
Right About by Bon Voyage is the perfect fall album. Like, the only thing I have against it is it's not the other 2 Bon Voyage albums. But this album is such a perfect examination. I believe when we did our episode on this, I said this album is the perfect examination of the middle. You know, when you're in a relationship, any relationship, but especially marriage, because that's what the Bon Voyage projects are about, is when you're in that middle season, when everything is cold and it's not bad, but it's not great either. And you're just trying to figure out how to get through the day-to-day drudgery. This is the album for you. I remember one track that really stuck with me is Be What I Need, where it's essentially a deconstruction of the other half myth that people have about your spouse or whatever.
Yeah.
And this is just such a good album about the hard work that marriage takes. And also, you know, the hard times that you're going to run into regardless. So yeah, I like The Right Amount. Also, the production on it is great. Ronnie Martin, you know, is a great third Bon Voyage member. This album was even a little bit of a precursor to the Brothers Martin project, which we'll talk about later.
On this one, or did he do lives?
No, he did this one.
Okay, yeah, okay.
He did all the synths and a lot of the drums on this one. Though there are a few.
Just like any committed relationship, no, not just marriage.
So, yeah, The Right Amount. Great Bon Voyage album.
You said number 8 for you?
Number 8 was The Right Amount by Bon Voyage.
That's number 7.
Number 7.
Before you answer, whoever's the 2 people that are listening to this, there has been no mention of Bon Voyage by Aaron, and there's been no mention of Dion Horse on Sam's part. So, noticing that.
Oh, okay.
Right? I've not mentioned one Bon Voyage album, right? You haven't talked about Dion Horse. Just saying.
I wonder what our tops are going to be.
But go ahead, number 7.
I may surprise you.
I may surprise you.
Number 7, LP2 by Low Tom.
Okay.
Is this the most improved sequel ever? Possibly.
I will agree.
Like, it's such a step up.
It is.
From the first album.
It really is.
Like, this album sold me on Low Tom as a project. It really did. And Dave Bazan's lyrics just about how much economics sucks. I've never heard anyone talk about economy and make it sound so engaging. It is such a good album as far as being the lower class and being worked to death by those in power above you.
Yeah, pretty much the album.
Yeah, it is so. And then musically, the band starts jiving. You can really feel them all coming together more. Trey Manny's drums are much more prominent in this album. Jason actually gets a few guitar solos in. Dave Bazan gets a few bass licks in that we didn't really get. And then I remember like the last track even has a bit of a jammy session. Now,
yeah, it did.
I want an LP3 where these guys just have a 10-minute jam session.
I remember that. Yeah. Down, lower, down. Lower, down, lower. Whatever. It's lower down, I think it is. Right.
But
no, Start Pan is what it is. Sorry. That's the jam song.
But LP2, Low Tom. That's my number 7.
Number 7.
Such a great album.
Number 7 for me. Uppers and Downers, Lo and Behold. Favorite track, Some People.
That was my favorite track too, actually.
Yeah. It is not just that. I mean, it is such a it's such a good what say? It sounds like like if this was on a slow album, like I said before, like this would have been the best fit for the slow album. And like this whole Lo and Behold project is obviously such a homage to the 80s, Depeche Mode, New Order, all that stuff. And it just sounds so good. And I remember you mentioning it sounded very samey, like the songs do sound similar to each other. But it's such a good formula. It's like the Ramones. There's the fast Ramones song and the slow Ramones song, but they're all good. And I feel that way about Lo and Behold. It's such a good formula. And it also fits, it's got a great Halloween vibe too. And I've been listening to, Spooky Time. I've been listening to this album a lot over the last few weeks too. Not a bad track on the whole thing. It's a fun album, and it's solid 7s. I think that's a good place for it to be.
Fair enough. I'm glad you like it so much, and I think it might be an album. If I come back to it, I might like. When I listened to it in preparation for this, I enjoyed it more than I did the first few times. So I think it's an album that may grow on me, and there may be a day where I randomly turn it on, and I'll be like, "Whoa!" But this is not that day.
It's such a melancholy album, and I love melancholy, and it reminds me of Achtung Baby by U2 and Depeche Mode, and I love those things, and it's just a melancholy party.
I feel like that is an album that would benefit greatly from owning it on vinyl. To have the experience of putting it down, sitting.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I mean, all these albums would be amazing on vinyl. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like that album in particular would just would help the listening experience.
It does. I have it on vinyl, and that's what I listen to it on. And yeah, I mean, I don't know, but yeah, I agree. It sounds great on vinyl.
All right, give me your number 6, sir.
Number 6, we are getting there. All right. So the first mention of Bon Voyage. Which album you think it is? Number 6, Sam.
I'm going to guess. Lies.
Very good. It is Lies. Good job. Now for bonus points, what's my favorite? You don't probably remember the song, so I won't put you on the spot like that. But my favorite song is Birthday. You remember that one?
It's my birthday. Okay, dude, I'm going to talk about Lies in a Mo, but those songs are stupid catchy. Like, it's amazing how catchy they are.
Yeah, exactly. It is super catchy. And I remember mentioning, like, what a song, Wake Up, Make Up, like, if we could get a Britney Spears, like, remix of that or something like that. Like she covered that. These songs are stupid catchy. It is ridiculous that this was not a cop hit. I don't know what the marketing department did or whatever, but if they would have got this song in a movie or commercial or something, gosh. But all the songs, it's just, I mean, it's a perfect pop album. I don't know what to say about it. It's a perfect pop album. Like, I want to go into about how, the construction of the songs and everything, but, you have the Best Friend song. Then you have a remix, like a remix of it called Bad Friend, and that's really cute and funny. It's just such a fun album. It's just like, if you had a bad day, the kids are being crazy, the dinner got burnt, whatever you got broken up with, or your favorite sports team lost, just throw this album on and just have fun and just like disconnect for a little bit. It's like 33 minutes of just like pop, sugary, good, perfection. It's like something Ronnie would make. What's your number 6?
My number 6, Monkey Hearts by Pony Express.
Okay.
Honestly, the title track alone, that's all I gotta say. Like, that title track, that's it. I love this title track so much. It's just them jamming. It's a fever dream surf rock number.
Yeah.
And it's amazing.
Fever dream surf rock. Yeah, that's a perfect description.
The rest of the album, the rest of the EP, I should say, though, is super good. I remember us talking about this album and just how much we enjoyed it. But yeah, to this day, if Monkey Heart the track ever comes on, I'm just like, I turn it up. I'm just like, yeah. I start hearing that guitar going. I also like the track, the opener, When You Were Everyone's.
Before You Were Everyone.
Yeah, Before You Everyone's. Another solid track, great opener. And I like this album really gets into some good thematics as far as I'm trying to remember who it was we were interviewing. They told us that the idea behind the Monkey Heart was it was a trap they would set for monkeys for so long as they had their hands inside grasping something, they couldn't get out of it. And I like that.
I think Josh Dooley said that.
I think it was Josh Dooley, you're right. And I really love that. This whole entire EP actually works as a great metaphor for sin or bad decisions or whatever vice in your life. So long as you're holding on to those negative things, you're going to be trapped. And that's really what every song on the album ends up being about. And I think it just on a thematic level, it works really well. But also, it's just a great album. It's just talk about another great, kind of macabre Halloween album. Monkey Hearts is that.
Okay. So that was your number 6, right?
Yep. Now we're moving into number 5. We're in the top 5 now.
All right, the final 5. What's your number 5 for you, Sam?
Lies by Bon Voyage.
Okay.
This is the dance party during the apocalypse. Apocalyptic dance party.
Yeah.
That's this album.
Yeah.
It is, it's your birthday. Or I wish I was a monster.
Yeah.
And, Girlfriend in a Coma. Such a catchy song.
Great cover.
It's not a cover. It's a cover, but by the way, so I was listening to my other playlist today, and Bleach's cover of Girlfriend in a Coma came on, and I was just like, if I had a nickel for every time a Christian adjacent band covered Girlfriend in a Coma, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's more nickels than you would think one would get.
Yeah. Wake Up Makeup, don't forget that one. Diary, The Good Life, yeah. so many
Wake
great
Up
songs.
Makeup is one of my favorites.
Yeah, really good.
That is almost like a theme song sometimes for me, where especially if you ever have a argument you get into, and you're just like, wait, what am I doing here? Like, pull yourself together, dude. This is not wake up.
Yeah. The relationship is more important than the argument. It's more important than being right. Wake up, and it's like you said. It's like the Bon Voyage project. It's just free marriage therapy. So, or couples counseling, relationship therapy. So if you're having problems with relationship, just get the 3 Bon Voyage albums. That'll help you out.
All right, what's your number 5, sir?
It's funny because number 6 for me was Lies by Bon Voyage. Yours was Monkey Hearts. Number 5 for me was Monkey Hearts, and it was Lies for you. So we swapped there.
Swapped there. Okay, nice. And I like that our top 4. I think. Oh wait, no. Okay, I was gonna say we haven't intermingled but we have. You said some of my top 4.
A little bit. I think we'll have some similar ones, but I think our number 1s are gonna be different. 1 and 2 is probably gonna be different. So number 5, Monkey Hearts. Before You Were Everyone's is my favorite on that. I mean, all the headaches that aspirin couldn't cure. The Monkey Hearts crazy surf. What'd you call it? Surf rock fever dream? Yeah.
Yeah, surf rock fever dream.
In Cold Blood. I mean, it's short and look, this is how great. Sometimes less is more. Although this, I think it's like 18 minutes long, maybe that 19, 20. It's not. If it's 20 minutes, I'd be shocked. But it's number 5 on this list because it's just great. Subdued, like all the before all the headaches that asthma couldn't cure. It's a very mellow song. You know, you have the crazy Monkey Hearts song. Um, it's just the sounds are just great, and it's another good fall winter album that I listen to a lot. I mean, when I first got this album, I was like, "What is this? This is crazy," and I'm here for it. And Before You're Everyone's, if you listen to the lyrics, that's a dark song, man. And I love dark song. It's really good. It might be my favorite Pony Express song, actually.
I say, well, if we look at it, or as far as our list, as far as we're both concerned, Monkey Hearts is our favorite Pony Express album, I think.
No, I got one more.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Well, for me, it's
Number
my favorite.
5.
All right. Well, nothing else to say there?
Yeah.
Number 4. I'll let you go first.
Well, it's my favorite Pony Express album, Becoming What You Hate.
Fair enough, I suppose.
And the song you were thinking of, you said Between the Something. I think the song you're thinking about is Behind the Walls.
Behind the Walls, that's what it's called, yeah.
And that's my favorite song as well. And when Pony Express did the first issue of it on vinyl a few years ago, you could get handwritten lyrics, and Behind the Walls was the one I got. It's a really, really good song. And Sister Hazel, though, you're right. That's that crazy vocal, how it gets crazy at the end. I love it. And I think this is the culmination of Pony Express. Like, you got the Eastwood Dive, you got Monkey Hearts, and so then they added our boy Richard Swift to the mix, and that I believe helped coalesce and help them come and discover some sounds that they didn't have originally, and just took this whole album to another level. It's crazy in all the right ways. It's just fun. It's artistic. It's creative. There's some party songs too. Just some good fun. Like Teenagers in Love. I think it's called Teenagers on Fire.
Hey, since you put on those headphones, you sound like you were talking through a tin can.
Okay. Well, yeah. So like Teenagers on Fire or Teens in Love or whatever that song. Great party song. It's just the best Pony Express album this far until they make their next one.
Nice. Mm. All right. My number 4. This will surprise no one. Neon Horse by Neon Horse.
Wow. Actually, I thought that would be higher for you.
This album is I really love when we was interviewing Mark Solomon. He said, they specifically set out to make a Christian rock band, like with explicitly Christian, but from a skewed perspective. So like, this is what Petra looks like through like Addams Family lenses. And I love that idea of Neon Horse. And this first album, I think musically is the superior album. But I feel like the lyrical depth isn't quite as far as I would like it to go, which is the only reason it's not higher. But musically, this album slaps so hard. Mark Solomon's vocals are on fire. I love his vocals on Cuckoo, for one. That's my favorite track on there easily. Though the closer, what is it called? The Mother, like something of the Mother or something. I forget. The closing track is pretty rad too, from a musical perspective.
Is the first Neon Horse?
Yeah.
Let's see here.
I don't remember the closing track off the top of my head.
Merciless Mother.
Merciless Mother, that's what it's called. Yeah. Cuckoo and Merciless Mother are such great bookends to that album. I love it so much. But then you have tracks like Speed Kills, where he gets like almost a menacing voice going. Speed Kills. Be quiet. It's so great. Like I said, the lyrics could be a bit deeper, but I'm enjoying the music and the vocal performance so much, I almost don't care. And I think there are lyrical themes to be dug into, just not as deep. So it is such a great. Oh, and it's worth noting. I'm sure I talked about this in the episode where we did it originally, but that Neon Horrors album has been sitting with me for several years because I found it inside of Half Price Books. So probably why I have more attachment to it than you is because I found it so early, and I've been just kind of listening to it off and on throughout the years.
Okay.
I would probably argue it was even it may be kind of my introduction to like not super, but more experimental music.
Okay.
I can't say for sure if that or Kid A came first, but whichever one came first.
Oh boy. Which one you like better, Kid A or Neon Horse?
Oh, Neon Horse by a mile.
Oh,
but
my gosh.
Kid A is still pretty great.
Bless your heart again. All right. So we're number
3, we're in the top 3.
All right. Number 3. What do you think my number 3 is?
Well, based on what we have left, I'm going to guess Brothers Martin.
You got it, Sam. Brothers Martin.
High five, buddy. That's my number 3 too.
Interesting.
Yes, we did something right, Aaron.
We might have to. If we have the first same number 1, that might be crazy. If we have the same number 1, because it's still potential. What's left? It could be. Yeah, The Plot That Weaves, the Ronnie song on that one. Gosh, the Brothers Martin. If I was a millionaire, or a billionaire, whatever, and I had unlimited money, and I could finance any musical project, I would make a Brothers Martin. The second brother, I would go to Jason Ryan's like, name your price. We got to make this happen. It's so good. It's so good. And the only reason why it's so high because there's only one Brothers Martin. If there was like other albums, maybe the other one would have been higher, but this is the only one we have. And this is the start. They went from Morelos Forest to Dance House Children. Then it was like 80-year break, and they come together for this. How did they not do another one? Like it's just the perfect blending of rock, electronica. It's not a dull moment. I know with Ronnie, we talked about the Dead Man's area of it, but it's not like those were bad songs. It's just like, it got, some of them was samey, but still good. Again, like the Ramones, it's the same thing, but the formula works. It's great. It's amazing. I can't say anything bad about it. What do you think, Sam?
So this album is what convinced me that Jason was worth listening to. I remember, like, I've heard Starflyer before, picked up various albums from the library, but I pulled this album up, I think on YouTube, right, or Spotify, I can't remember which, and I listened to it while I was working one day, and I was like, oh, I think I can get into these guys. And then not too long after, I'm pretty sure, is when we started this.
Okay.
But, yeah, Brothers Martin, it's so good. The Missionary, like, dun, 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 dun. That synth line is so great. So great, in fact, they used it on a TV series, right? It was in an episode of Chuck.
Yeah, I remember that. That's hilarious.
I wish this would have been a bigger seller for Tooth and Nail. Like, bare minimum, I wish this would have went gold. I know 2007 was the last year that CDs were relevant at all.
Yeah.
So like this was hit or miss, right? Like from a musical production standpoint, it was a grand slam.
Yeah.
Sadly, from a sales perspective, it just didn't quite do enough to convince them to keep up with it, and that's such a shame.
It is.
I want to hear more, so much. But alas, we were all sleeping on him back in 2007, and instead we were listening to, I don't know, who was popular in 2007? Panic at the Disco? Fall Out Boy? I don't know.
I'm sure I was still listening to Prince, but I remember I did buy the CD from a Christian bookstore, so I did buy one of those CDs. It sounds better on vinyl though too, FYI.
Oh, all these sound better on vinyl. I almost guarantee it.
I don't know about that. Not all of them.
I mean, Dave's House could be a bit trippy on vinyl.
I would love to hear that, which is not going to be possible. I'm sure those tapes are lost forever, and like it's never going to happen.
like it'd be so awesome if they found the original reel-to-reels and they did the what they've been doing with all the Beatles projects, where they use AI software to separate individual instruments and make them sound more even. That'd be amazing.
Why did you mention the Beatles? Gosh, Jesus, this guy. Number 2. What's your number 2, Sam?
All right, my number 2, Haunted Horse by Neon Horse.
Oh my gosh. Go ahead.
This album is everything I loved about Neon Horse, but with some more of that lyrical depth. And the lyrical depth, this isn't gonna like change your theology or anything, but I love what they do, taking common Bible stories, the story of the prodigal son in Strange Town, or the parable of the vineyard keepers that Jesus gave in Ain't Sinned in Years, which, by the way, is a hilarious song.
Yeah.
Hey, Norman, you haven't sinned? That part. It's one of my favorite parts in the whole entire album. I ain't sinned in years. It takes these Bible stories, though, Sunday school lessons, essentially, and filters them through an interesting perspective that I wouldn't necessarily have thought of.
Yeah.
And like it is, I love it so much for that, for just doing something, taking an idea that sounds so basic, but it's so interesting at the same time. It's like if Tim Burton decided to tackle some Sunday school stories.
That's oh my gosh. Neon Horse is Christian's Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yes, kind of. If only we would get an actual Neon Horse Christmas album, though. Santa Claus.
Isn't there a Neon Horse Christmas song?
Huh?
Isn't there a Neon Horse Christmas song?
That You, Santa Claus. It's covered.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah. We covered that. I remember. Yeah.
That was forever ago.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. It just popped in my head. I was like, oh shit, yeah, that's good. Okay.
Chain Gang Bang Bang, though, is still the best song on the album. It's only kind of fun. That's why we brought a whip. Just the album's hilarious. It's a hilarious album that still makes you think. What is it? I'm the Gang is Shaka Khan. This album is just,
it's so great. So great.
It'll make you laugh, and then you'll still think about it. You're like, oh wait, I can kind of put some pieces together. I see what they're getting at here. And I love an album that will make you laugh, entertain you, and at the same time make you think, if only a little bit.
Yeah.
I love this album so much.
All right. Nice. So this means that we have the same number 1 album then, Sam, because my number 2 is The Right Amount by Bon Voyage. And my favorite I think you know my favorite song. If you remember what songs on that one?
So if I remember correctly, it was I can picture it because it was right before the record flip. It was like at the end of side 1.
Yeah.
All the traps. All the traps, yes. Because you cried on that one when we was talking about it.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm about to start again, man. It might be Jason's best song. Such a good song. Which I hold together. Yeah, I mean, it's such a good song. I mean, the rest of the album is really good too, and it's just if that song was on the other album, it might be the best Jason album ever. But I mean, like you said, Be What I Need is up there. The Third Marie, it's hard to read. Third Marie, Dressed in White. I mean, then the segues and the title track, Right Amount. I mean, it's a perfect album. It's one of these albums that is so good. Like to me, it's like we talk about some albums that the lyrics aren't as deep, but the music's good, and the music's good, or whatever. But this album, the music's good and the lyrics are deep. It is just it's just a lot for me that I don't listen to this album as a lot because it's just too overwhelming for me. But it is really good. A beautiful album. Gosh, if we would have did like the whole thing, like Starflyer, EPs, side projects together, this probably would have been in at least the top 3 for me. Well, top 5. Top 5. Yeah, top 5 for me. It's just so good. I'm still thinking about all the traps. I don't want to think about this anymore. Let's go to number 1.
I think we're both in agreement.
Yeah.
Number 1.
Yeah.
And I like how you was talking about seasons.
Yeah.
This album is maybe the perfect summer album. But like sad, gloomy summer. Not necessarily.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's not sad. It's a happy album.
Why don't you tell what album we talking about,
Bon
Sam?
Voyage, the first Bon Voyage album. The obvious winner here.
Yes.
I mean, you have Honeymoon, West Coast Friendship, Kiss My Lips.
No Paradise.
Huh?
No Paradise.
No Paradise. All such great songs. So this album kicks off, for one. It does so many things right. One, it sets off the whole entire... It's a thesis statement for Bon Voyage.
Yes.
Here are songs about relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that so many of the songs are like feel-good, happy songs, right? Kiss My Lips is like so romantic.
Song. Romantic? That's more than romantic.
It's sensual. It's very sensual, right?
There you go.
Honeymoon. Okay, Honeymoon is the more... There you go. That's a good romantic song.
Yeah.
But then you have tracks like No Paradise that talk about how hard a relationship is.
Yep.
And then my personal favorite, West Coast Friendship, which has my favorite lyrical line ever. These are the best days of our lives.
Crazy as it seems.
Crazy as it seems. And I think about that. We don't think about it, but when you're going through the hard stuff,
yeah,
sometimes those are the best days of your life, because it is when you're going through that hard stuff, when you're going through that crap, that you realize what you have and you realize it's worth it. And if you hadn't went through all that crap, your stupid human brain never would have realized how good you had it or have it. And I'm not saying, that justifies all the horrible things that happen to people. Like, that's not the point of the song. The point being that sometimes we just need, just even in the worst times, if we have our loved one, if we have someone we care about, these can still be the best days of our lives, crazy as it seems. And just such a good album. I almost put Haunted Horse above it, but I'm like, no, if I had to pick one album between the two to take on an eye on, I'd probably take Bon Voyage, honestly. Maybe. I don't know. Ooh, that's hard. No.
Sam, you know what, Sam? I'm gonna unbless your heart from everything else I said tonight. You did right at the end. You came through in the end.
All right, tell me about your feelings about this great album.
God, I can't. I got too many. We'll be here for like 3 hours. So I got this when it first came out in '98. Tooth and Nail, mail order. Where was I at? Oklahoma? Was I in Germany? I was in Oklahoma. Oh God, in the Army, and I remember listening to this and single neck to your own air, and just listening to. I wasn't married at the time, and just listen to these songs and just like, yeah, like you said, it's like a thesis for relationships and everything. And I'm looking at my notes for this, and I'm rating these songs too. Like, we might have to redo this because I rated these songs too low, man. What the hell was I thinking? But it's, Kiss My Lips, very sensual song. No Paradise, I love, like you said, like it's honest. I did get at 4 stars. Okay, so I did right on No Paradise. Actually, it should maybe be 5. But yeah, the album goes through the gamut of relationship. West Coast Friendship, like you said, it's hard when you're going through a relationship. You don't know, and what's just as humans, we don't know. Like, even as like when historical moments are happening, like when the Battle of Bull Run the first battle of the Civil War, when that happened, did anyone know this was going to be a civil war? Did anyone know what was about to happen for the next 4 or 5 years? No, you don't know, and it's just so hard as humans to know in the moment what you're going through. And yeah, and when you struggle, like those are times, the things that build you and bring you closer together. If all the traps was on this album, this would be the best album thing that Jason ever did. This is just it's just sugar pop perfection, but with depth. And like we said, with like I said, with the right amount. The lyrics here are thoughtful, they're deep, and they cover the gamut of so many different things. And if I was a billionaire and could finance any project, first would be Brothers Martin, 2 would be another Bon Voyage, because we had 3. We only have 1 Brothers Martin. And then 3rd would be a Pony Express album.
Very nice. I love it. Well, yeah, that's all the side project, guys. Come back next time when we do this. I think the live stream may have been successful, so we may try and do this again in another month or something. I don't know. Maybe a little bit sooner.
And before y'all add us and talk about, well, what about White Lighter and these other things? Like, yes, there's other side projects that Jason did with Terry Taylor, White Lighter, but those albums he like had minimal input, like play guitars on a couple songs. It wasn't like a full, like, you know, he was like a driving force in these albums. And so if we did that, you know, we would be here until we're old as Methuselah, and nobody's got time for that.
Next time we will be doing all the Starflyer EPs, because there's a lot of EPs.
I think 85,000 of them. I think that's right.
So yeah, we'll have to have a discussion about what counts as an EP and, you know, all that. It's going to be interesting. Like, do we also include maybe like the compilation albums? Because there's at least 2 compilation albums I can think of.
Yeah, that's nice to think about. But before we get out of here, Sam, you want to run down your top 16 from 16 down again?
Yeah, I closed the page. All right. So my 16.
Oh, you closed it already?
I got it. Songs and Stories by Dance House Children. Uppers by Lo and Behold. Jesus by Dance House Children. LP1 by Low Tom. Eastwood Dive by Pony Express. Fraud by Pony Express. The Emergency by The Enemy Ship. Becoming What You Hate by Pony Express. The Right Amount by Bon Voyage. LP2 by Low Tom. Monkey Heart by Pony Express. Lies by Bon Voyage. Neon Horse by Neon Horse. The Brothers Martin by The Brothers Martin. Haunted Horse by Neon Horse. And Bon Voyage by Bon Voyage.
All right. I got 16, Jesus by Dance House Children. 15, Songs and Stories by Dance House Children. 14, LP1 by Low Tom. 13 by Enemy Ship. The Emergency, or vice versa, who knows. 12, Fraud by Pony Express. 11, LP2 by Low Tom. Number 10, Haunted Horse by Neon Horse. Number 9, Neon Horse. Number 8, The Eastwood Dive by Pony Express. Number 7, Uppers and Downers by Lo and Behold. Number 6, Lies by Bon Voyage. Number 5, Monkey Hearts EP by Pony Express. Number 4, Becoming What You Hate by Pony Express. Number 3, The Brothers Martin. Number 2, The Right Amount by Bon Voyage. And number 1, the king, the crown, the winner, the queen, Bon Voyage by Bon Voyage.
She's the queen.
She is. All right, guys. Well, thanks for sticking with us and listening to us. We really appreciate it.
Yeah. Feel free to throw your own rankings, like either the Facebook page. I'd really love it if someone did it like on the podcasting app of choice, so that way maybe the algorithm could pick us up. But whatever, just like throw your rankings out there, guys. I'm really curious to see other people's.
That'd be great. All right.
Other than that, as always, this has been a Brothers King Media production.
Thank you. Bye.